We're very excited to welcome to the program, making his RP show debut, the newly verified Dan O'Toole of the Boomsies podcast. There, boom! How you doing, Toolsy?
I'm doing great.
Like
Look at
it.
this. Experienced vagina.
You kept it, and it still fits.
Of course, all my shirts still fit. And I love that your gear, you call it bunny hugs, as you should. Your hoodies.
Yeah, and nobody else does. And it's not catching on, Dan, by the way. It's only been going for 100 years. We've called it that. You guys, you Easterners, aren't picking up on it.
No, we try to bring it here. We try to bring anything Saskatchewan like here, except I still don't know, Jay, when he refers to chocolate milk, what you guys call it, Visco? What is it?
Vico.
Vico. Yeah, that it will never catch on because it makes zero sense to me.
It used to be a brand of chocolate milk, and it would come in. But anyways, I digress. I know I've asked you this a million times, Dan, but with your new venture here, Boomsies and everything, congratulations on all that's going on in your life, by the way. You look fantastic. Did we ever zero in on why that you're so popular, and Jay as well, in Saskatchewan? I mean, that tour stop at Estevan is legendary. It was so much fun. They love you guys in the rectangle. What's the deal, do you think?
I think it's just because of our connection to the people and our love for Saskatchewanites. Because as I say to anyone that I ever come across in my travels around the world, they say, if you could live anywhere in Canada and not where you are right now, where would you go? And I always say either Eastern Canada or Saskatchewan. The reason being, both would give clothes off their back in a heartbeat. And it's just that the way we embrace it, the way we love it. I would spend summers in Saskatchewan. I don't know about winters so much, but summers, like going to Outlook, Saskatchewan, that one time we went there, I'm like, I've never heard of this place in my life, and I want to move here this instant. But it's just the connection to the people, I think, that really just sets the mood and gives us that embrace of everything Saskatchewan.
Well, you know what? You fit in because, Dan, rightly or wrongly, or good or bad, I was here in South Florida in 2015 hosting a sports trip. I had 60 Saskatchewan farmers with me on a sports trip. And this lady that worked at the front desk of the hotel, she's like, I love you people from Saskatchewan. You're real. And I was like, well, we're that. We may not be a lot of things, but we're real. And Dan, that's kind of always been your hallmark too, right?
Yeah, I love that you mentioned farmers. Maybe that's why we fit in, because I'm a farmer. I grew up on a pig farm in Peterborough, Ontario. So all I know about hard work, picking stones. Oh man, if you've ever picked rocks for a living, you can sit down and you can have a conversation with anyone because you've picked rocks. I'd love to have been on that road trip with you. 60 farmers on a golf trip? First off, I don't know any farmers that golf. I just got back into golfing at the ripe old age of 46. Last golf membership was when I was a junior member, so that would have been in like grade 7 or 8. But yeah, all the farmers I knew didn't golf. So that is an eye-opener for me, Rod.
Stop for a second. I didn't say a golf trip. I said a sports trip. And there was two different...
okay. Okay. Sorry,
yeah,
I was wrong.
We were in Tampa on one of these trips with all these farmers. And we're in a strip club. And the manager came out and he turned all the lights on at about 10 o'clock. And he said, I'm keeping this place open till you guys run out of money. 6 a.m, still going. Lights come on. He kicks the door open. He's like, you gotta go. And I said, they're not out of money. And he goes, the staff is tired. You gotta go. Now I came back a couple years later sober. And one of those farmers came up to me, Dan, and said, can we go to a strip club, Rod? And I said, Marcel, I don't do those things anymore. I'm responsible. And he says, you can still be responsible at a strip club? And I'm like, you go ahead. I'm not going with you. But anyway, enough about me. I brought you on to talk about you. Let's talk about Boomsies, man, and how things are going with what you're up to.
So far so good. I'm kind of you're paving the way. You did the exact same thing as I'm doing now, except you're 700 episodes in. I'm about tape number 12 tomorrow. And being your own boss essentially is something I've never experienced in my life. I have backers behind this, Bet Rivers, who's one of the gaming sites that's coming to Canada. They approached me and they said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I'd love to do a podcast. We'd love to help you get that off the ground." And that was all the involvement they've had. There are no notes being passed. They are not saying, "Oh, don't say this about this potential sponsor. Oh, you can't say this. You need to have this guest on." I get to do whatever the F I want and speak to whoever I want. I can do a 10-minute episode. I can do a 3-hour episode. My umbrella is very wide, when before it was very tiny as to what you were allowed to do. You had to get things into a certain amount of time. You had to make sure not to say anything about a certain sponsor. So just having no reins attached, time at the age of 46, is something I've never experienced. And I'm sure you feel the same, Rod. It's very liberating. It almost is like a rebirth, something that I've never experienced before.
Pretty sure I wouldn't have told the strip club story on any other broadcast platform other than this. So you know what I'm saying. And I said to DuPont when we started this, I said, I just want to have fun again and I want to make a living. It's all I want to do. And here we are. So that's pretty cool.
That's right. And one of the guys I discovered my love of broadcasting again, I'm going to have on this week, is Chris Nyland. I think you've had him on before, Knuckles. And while I was about what I was going to do, I was posting Instagram videos on Canadian companies that needed exposure during the pandemic because their sales were down or whatever. So I just posted these videos and I'm like, this is okay. I don't think this can ever turn into a full-time job. And then Chris Nyland had reached me after I'd lost my job. And during the Montreal Canadiens run, he said, "Why don't we do like a post-game show on Instagram?" I'm like, okay. And then I rediscovered my love of sports. Not that I had lost it, but when you're doing sports highlights every single night, I'm sorry to tell you, but it kind of blends into the next night. You aren't hoping for an exciting game. You aren't hoping for overtime. You just want to get the hell out of there. You don't want a game to go into triple overtime because that means you're there till 4 a.m. So I got to sit on my couch and watch the Habs in the run to the cup and then have Knuckles on. And it was just fun again. I got to be a fan, something I hadn't been in 25 years. So that's what really changed things. And I can't wait to talk to Knuckles about that. From the fact that I was looking at his seasons. He had a 21-goal season, and he also had 300 penalty minutes. Like, man, that was the 84-85 season with the Habs, where it was those stats just don't happen anymore.
Of course. And here's a story that you don't know. One of those nights, we were at Nyland's house on the St. Lawrence River there. And he's like, you guys, you got to get out of here. Get out of here. Got to go on with tools. You got to go on. Set up at the at his kitchen table. You know the setup. And we watched it as we were driving away. So great guys doing great things. And Dan, I apologize. We are out of time. But can we do this again? And where can people find Boomsies if they don't know?
Just Google Boomsies. It's right there on the sign. BOOMIES. And it comes up. But don't do it by voice, because when you do it by voice, everyone says boobies come up. So you don't want boobies to come up in your Google search. Or maybe you do. So Boomsies, wherever you get podcasts, you can watch the live version on YouTube. And Rod, I really appreciate it, buddy. Love seeing you. I haven't seen you since, I don't think, a Sportsman show in Regina about 14 years ago.
Been a very long time, but I would agree with our viewer, Don, our Navy friend. Looking great, Dan. From our fellow rock picker, let's have a chat. You do look sensational. So keep it up, brother. Let's keep in touch.
Thanks, buddy. Okay, have fun in Florida. Be safe.
Dan. Plan on it. The great Dan O'Toole joining us on this Monday. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the RP Show on YouTube. And don't forget, we're live daily on YouTube from noon to 2 Eastern. If you like what you see, hit subscribe. And if you like the program, check around for other segments of the Rod Pedersen Show here on YouTube.